back, everyone.
This is Hunter.
This is Jade.
And this is the
My
podcast. We always do that. This is the
Witches, Legends, Ghosts,
Oh My
podcast.
Episode 22. Theme
Virginia. Shout out to our Virginians.
So
We know you exist.
so in my research,
Oh boy.
I almost made an oopsie because I was looking up stuff in Virginia, and I don't know how this got there, but it said something about Roanoke, and so I looked it up, and it was like, oh, Roanoke, Virginia, the Lost Colony of Roanoke.
Ooh.
No, the Lost Colony of Roanoke is in an island off of North Carolina, I think. So there's just a city in Virginia called Roanoke. It's not anything to do with. So I was looking up stuff, looking up articles for the Lost Colony of Roanoke, only to in my articles I was reading, it was talking about North Carolina. I was like, huh,
Weird.
why would it talk about that?
Have we done North Carolina yet?
No. So I'm going to talk about it when we do North Carolina. But yeah, so then I had to rewire my brain and find something else. And so what I found is the Black Sisters.
Okay.
They are not black. That's their last name, I think. No, it's not their last name at all. They just wore black. And so I guess they're called the Black Sisters because they wore black.
Cool.
So the story follows Virginia, Oceana Wardlaw, Caroline Bell Wardlaw Martin, and Mary Long Wardlaw Sneed. I love
all of their names are based off of a state.
Really?
Maryland, South and North Carolina, and Virginia.
Yeah. I was like, what? I don't know why I thought you were talking about middle names. I'm like, Oceana, Bell, Sneed. Where are we going with this? I love that last name, Sneed. It's the best.
It's a fun name to say.
It is Sneed. You have to
say it like that.
Yeah, what is the
Sneed,
word?
nasally.
You have to be nasally with it. Sneed.
The way you do it so good.
It reminds me of the one Harry Potter video, The Ticking Sound. Snape. What is that mysterious ticking noise?
Dumbledore. Anyway.
Hermione. Anyways, so in 1903, the Black Sisters became the owners of Sully College in Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
Okay.
Virginia was named president of the school in 1892 by the guy who bought the school. And then she brought the school a lot of prestige. The school offered a, quote, traditional Southern education for women in cultural studies and social graces, end quote. Under Virginia's administration, with her sister Mary by her side, Sully College achieved wide recognition. It introduced, these are the classes: dressmaking, typewriting, bookkeeping, commercial law, Latin, Greek, constitutional history, English, literature, French, German, European history, ethics, math, physiology, geology, civil government, and political economy.
Wow, a lot more than I expected. When you started with dressmaking, I was like, oh, God.
Same. I was like, okay, do I really need to read the rest of it? Because I know it's just going to be like,
how to cook, how to clean,
how to feed your husband, how to please your husband. But yeah.
Get your feet tickled before you go home to your husband.
Become the world's best foot tickler. Please the man.
Oh, God.
So Sully College, the sisters became owners of it in 1903. By sisters, I mean Virginia and Mary. Caroline arrived later with her daughter, Oceana, which everybody called OC.
Okay.
And everything changed, I guess, after she arrived with her daughter.
Oh.
Virginia and Mary changed, I guess, once they had brought, order, discipline, and honor to the school, and then after Caroline came, I guess, chaos reigned.
Okay.
Mary explained in a 1930 interview that Caroline was insane, and that she and her daughter, OC, were taken in out of pity. So, why would that...
Yeah.
I guess they just didn't like her, is what I'm hearing.
That should not change how they're... Oh,
yeah,
God,
well,
Jesus Christ.
they're insane.
Oh, jeez.
They're fucking insane.
Okay.
The sisters, who normally are all dressed in heavy black garments with mourning veils. They literally dress like they're going to a funeral at all times.
Jesus.
I guess they took to hiring a driver after sundown and having him drop them off at the Evergreen Cemetery, where they were seen and heard chanting incantations in an odd language and dancing around graves and trees. Whispers emerged of the sisters being abortionists and child murderers. People also thought that, speculated that they murdered their father for insurance money. So
anyone that calls someone who gets an abortion a child murderer needs to be murdered themselves, personally. In my opinion. Don't come for me.
Don't come for me.
Anyway.
But the young women at the Sully College became so scared of their odd actions and, like, what is going on, that the school began to lose money. And it didn't help that Caroline, I guess, was dipping her hand, like, into the money that they're making and, like, basically spending it. So the three sisters left in 1904.
Okay. So
after
a year after?
Lost all the money. After they owned it. Because before they owned it, Virginia and Mary were, like, worked there and, like, built it up. And then, like, Caroline came and they, like, went into ruin. And then, a year after they owned it.
What? Because she just so existed? Money. They just decided to, like, stop? That doesn't make any sense. Because she was
insane. So then they, another college, oddly enough, Montgomery Female College in Virginia.
Okay.
The Montgomery Female College had been owned by an aging aunt who gave it to the three sisters' mother. The mother died.
Three sisters.
Virginia, Caroline, and Mary. So they began running.
Caroline's their sister.
Yes, they're all sisters.
Oh my
God. Said at the beginning, so sorry.
I know, it's okay. For some reason, I thought... Hang on, my foot. Okay. For some reason, I thought that Caroline was just this, like, random woman that just, like, showed up. Okay, it's their sister, so she's insane, so it made them, and so she made them insane because of her.
Yes, that's what they claim. Yeah, so Virginia, Caroline, Mary, all sisters.
Okay.
Caroline came with her daughter, O.C.
I'm on board now.
Yes, okay.
Jesus Christ, okay, go, continue.
Okay, so, in 1904, they began running the school, but by 1908, they basically ran it into the ground.
Good.
Again.
Just like the other one.
Ruined 2 colleges now.
That's impressive.
It is impressive. How does that fucking happen? I don't know. So after this, they, like, headed to New York.
Okay.
With O.C. and her husband, Fletcher. Fletcher was also O.C.'s first cousin and Mary's son. So...
Wait.
Caroline had O.C.
Uh-huh.
Mary, who's sisters with Caroline, had Fletcher.
And
Fletcher and O.C. married.
So that would be like... Sorry.
That would be like
me and Jaren.
Yes, you and Jaren. But I guess there are stories that the three sisters forced them to marry.
No, surprised me.
I guess they practically kidnapped Fletcher and they forced him to divorce from his first wife. That's what stories say.
So my God, this poor man was already in a relationship, had a wife, and was forced to...
Literally. So,
can I ask, do you know their ages when they were forced to get married? Like, was she, like, significantly younger and he's, like, significantly older and, like, creepy? Like,
I don't know.
Not that matters because they're cousins. But...
I don't know any of their ages.
Okay.
But I'm assuming they're, like, I would guess in the teens or something.
Including Fletcher?
I would guess. They're sisters.
Who was already married?
No, you're right. Older. But people... Yeah, I don't know. 20s, maybe?
I would think he would be in his 20s, and it sounds to be like she was, like, just coming of age, and they're like, we need to marry them.
Probably.
So he's probably, like, in his
Divorce.
20s, and she's, like,
Marry
15.
a cousin. Both of them forced into it.
Yep.
I love that.
Love that.
So in leaving Virginia, the college that they burned to the ground.
The second one.
They left chaos behind. I guess Carolyn's wealthy husband mysteriously died. Mysteriously.
Right.
And then Fletcher's brother, John and his wife also died. John was burned alive in his bed, which the sisters say was an accident, after 2 previously almost fatal accidents from falling off a train and almost drowning in a well. So people were like, I think the sisters murdered him.
Interesting.
But they were believed by the authorities, and I guess they received his insurance money. In spite of the heavy smell of kerosene on his body.
Oh my God, you're kidding me.
Yeah, literally, people were like, no, the sisters for sure murdered him. And the authorities were like, no.
They're women, they can't murder.
How did he just burn alive?
Women
he covered himself. Suicide? Covered himself? And I guess they, sisters
Spontaneous combustion.
Yeah, I guess. with kerosene. I guess the sisters were found dancing around the graves of John and his wife after their deaths.
They sound like lovely people.
Yeah, really, right? So then they went to New York or New Jersey. Oh, it's very
They're close enough.
Yeah, it says they went to New York, but then this story happens in New Jersey. But New York and New Jersey are practically like the same thing, anyways. Like I've been to both. Like it's the same thing.
Yeah.
But by the time they reached New York, the sisters were rapidly running out of funds. They were raised in a prominent family of doctors, lawyers, and ministers, so they were like used to always having money, and they don't know what to do. On the night of November 29th, 1908, keep in mind that like all of this shit starts happening in 1903. So 5 years later, they've already destroyed two colleges.
Murdered like three
people, supposedly.
Allegedly.
And then in 1909, the Main Street Police Headquarters in East Orange, New Jersey, received a telephone call requesting a coroner be sent to 89 North 14th Street. When he arrived at the unheated and unfurnished home, so they're like literally living in squalor.
Cool.
The doctor found the nude and emaciated.
Please keep that.
I stared so long at the word, like,
please keep that.
What? Have you seen the video of the guy trying to say freshly squeezed orange juice?
Yeah, I think I sent that to you.
Oh, I think you did. Yeah.
Freshly freeze.
No, literally, squish. That's me. Emaciated body. So, nude and emaciated body of O.C. drowned in a bathtub.
Shocker.
He was shown a suicide note, but he immediately knew that the girl had been dead for 24 hours before he was called. And the woman who made the call and answered the door, Virginia, was dressed in all black. And she was very uncooperative with the police.
So Virginia would be O.C.'s aunt. That's not her mom is her mom is Caroline.
Yes.
Okay.
Her mom is Caroline.
Okay.
But I guess Virginia is the one who like made the call and answered the door.
Okay.
And the story of O.C. and her horrible death filled the national newspaper for 2 years.
Jesus.
I guess I don't know where this information comes from.
Oh, good.
But it says, the article that I read said, it seems that the three sisters had been drugging and starving O.C. for some time, and possibly even killed her first child and led to the death of her second through starvation. They eventually drove off O.C.'s husband, Fletcher, whom they led her to believe was dead. So they, like, made Fletcher get the fuck out of town, and then told O.C. he's dead.
He died. You forced them to marry each other.
I don't know. He went to Canada and was living under a random name when the police found him. But he had like nothing to do with anything the fuck that was going on.
Yeah.
But like what?
That reminds me of this one case that I had I've listened to a lot. Diane Downs, I think, is the name of the killer. But basically, there was, you've definitely heard this before, but there was like this 16-year-old girl and then like her 11-year-old sister had to like live with their neighbor for a while.
Oh my god.
And then the neighbor like tortured and like branded her and like
everyone was in on it.
Everybody, even like the neighborhood
right?
kids who were like 14 years old were like, yeah. And awful things. There were so many people that had gone there that should have said something. Like things should have been done and it wasn't. They beat her so bad that like she couldn't like hold in her urine. She couldn't hold in her hold in her poop. Like all of that. And then they would get mad at her for wetting the bed and make her sleep on the floor. Mm-hmm. But like they're the cause. And then eventually she ended up dying.
Shocking. But I think that story like reminds me of a study that was done. I'm sure you've heard of this study. I've talked about it before. Where it's basically like if people like authority figures have so much fucking power over you. So all of these like, even though one of them, I think some of the kids were like 17 or 18 or something, it's still like this older woman who is like telling you that something's wrong with this girl and we need like this needs to be happening. Because there's a study done of like people administering
right?
that too. But there was another study where it was like a fake study. So there's like a wall. There's one person and the study administrator on one side and then a fake person on the other, basically.
But they think it's real.
And so the person, I don't remember what they had to do. They had to do a task, and every time they got something wrong, the person on the other side of the wall was told by the head scientist guy to administer shocks to the other person. And the doctor was just telling them to administer heavier and more strong shocks. And the little shock meter like shows you when it gets dangerous. It basically says you can kill the person if you administer the shock.
And you can hear the person behind the wall screaming.
Yeah. It's not real. It's not, Nobody actually is screaming on the other side of the wall, but the person is being told by this scientist, like leader that it's okay, like keep going.
No, you can keep going, it's fine.
Yeah. And they just do. They know. They can hear the fake screams. They see the meter saying, like, they could die. And the people were administering shocks so much that, like, they even shut off the fake screams on the other side. So you think I killed them. And the doctor keeps telling you to go. And they still do. They're just like, I don't know why I did that, but, like, I was told to do it, so I'm going to do it. And these were, like, adults being told this.
Yes.
But because, like, the scientist had, like, an authority thing, they're like, oh, I can trust, like,
and
he's
I need
doing
to listen.
it. Yeah, I need to listen. Like, this backlash isn't on me, it's on them. Like, it's just crazy. So I think that's why, like, these 16, 14-year-olds are like, oh, this older lady authority figure is telling me to do this.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it. That doesn't make it okay.
It doesn't make it okay because...
But it explains the psyche.
The daughter, like, her actual daughter, was, like, 17. I think she was, like, a year older than the girl that they ended up, like, murdering or whatever. But she, like, was psycho, and she did a lot of the instigating. But also at the same time, like, she may have been... she may have gone through all of that until these girls got there, and like
this saves her life.
And this saves her from so like as much as she's horrible,
my God, it's horrible.
Just the word like if you don't watch it, if like things like that, but like it made me sick to my stomach, and I like watch this stuff a lot. But it like made me feel for her because like what if she was dealing with all of these beatings and stuff, and now like the only way to like what if her mom was like, you have to do this or I'm gonna do this to you, like you need to brand this girl or else I'm gonna brand you.
It's
fucked.
It is. There's another story too that I can't remember, but like just randomly a family, like I think there's no dad in the picture, but I think it was like a brother, a sister, another sister, and then like another girl. One of the girls, like the mom just decided she doesn't like anymore, and like kept in a closet, and she wasn't allowed to eat, and she was like chained, and like she couldn't control like her bathing and stuff because when you get abused you can't, which is like a huge sign of sexual abuse, by the way. But like all the siblings would like abuse her. They would contribute. Like the mom is telling them what to do. They're gonna do it. Eventually she dies, but like you hear about, I feel like there are so many cases where the adult figure is like, no, this is okay. They deserve this.
And like force the kids to do it.
The kids are gonna blindly believe you if they grow up like that.
Right, exactly.
It's horrible.
It's just
because then not only is the mom murdering their own child, but then she's destroying her other children's psyche by making them do this, acting like it's normal. Like,
and then what? They're gonna grow up thinking that it's normal, and then they're gonna
the cycle of abuse.
Yep.
I can't.
Yep.
So
anyway,
so eventually the police kind of like catch on to all these stories and like the evidence. So they evaded the police for a while, but eventually they're arrested and tried for the murder of OC
in New York or New Jersey.
I'm gonna guess New Jersey.
Okay.
I guess the family had always had a strange, somewhat unnatural relationship. Caroline had a creepy control over everyone who was around.
That's why when she came there, Okay.
So one theory is that she was like a serial killer, and her two sisters were like either aware of it when like we're covering things up, or like they eventually partook in it because like it's my sister, like we're in this together type thing.
Do you know if there were age differences between the sisters?
Don't have that information.
Okay.
Where is I going with this? Oh, so the investigation established that the sisters had a life insurance on OC in the amount of $32,000, which is almost $1 million in today's currency.
Oh my lord.
Yes.
That's a lot of
literally
money.
It was also found that OC owned several parcels of valuable property in her name through her father's will. Testimony showed that on several occasions, the sisters had tried unsuccessfully to get OC to make a will leaving to them or specifically like her mom, Caroline. I don't think they ever got that. But when she died, they like got everything of hers anyway.
Of course.
So about Virginia, in 1910, this is a quote. I don't know who said this quote, but
it's a quote.
Quote, Miss Virginia Wardlaw died here in the house of detention. General decline is given as the cause of her death. It is the opinion of jail attendants that Miss Wardlaw deliberately starved herself to death. When she was removed from jail, there was found in the cell she occupied a quantity of stale food, which the prisoner concealed. So she, Virginia literally just starved herself in jail. Mary was acquitted.
I guess they didn't really have anything on her.
I think Virginia and Caroline were, the main...
The instigators.
The
main aggressors.
Basically. Caroline pleaded guilty to manslaughter, and she, I guess, clearly expected no jail time because when she learned that her sentence was 7 years.
That's it?
She was, freaking out, saying, I don't deserve it. So, she fully thought, I'm gonna get away with
She
this.
thought that manslaughter wasn't gonna get her time in jail. You still killed someone.
Yeah. The prisoner, she had to be, this is another quote, the prisoner had to be carried from the courtroom, still sitting in her chair, shrieking. So, they had to drag her out. Soon after she entered jail, she was transferred to an insane asylum where she stopped eating and died on June 20th, 1913.
Oh my gosh.
So, she literally...
Two of them starved themselves.
Two of them starved themselves. That's so weird.
That's so difficult to do, too. Your body, to starve yourself with food around you.
The fact that Virginia had food.
Stale food her... Yeah,
you would eat anything if you were hungry enough.
Dude, that's crazy. That is a strong-willed person.
They're insane.
Yeah.
So, I guess Mary... This is what Mary says in 1930, because she was acquitted, so whatever.
She's fine. Apparently.
Mary says that Virginia had been negligent and irresponsible when dealing with... not Virginia. Mary says that Caroline had been negligent and irresponsible when dealing with her supposedly mentally unstable daughter, Osie, and that she ran after finding Osie dead from suicide in the bathtub, leaving Virginia to clean up the mess she made. But that Virginia was guilty of nothing, and that she killed herself in the prison due to shame. So that's what Mary says. But Mary...
Why would she kill herself due to shame if she didn't have anything to do with it?
True. Maybe, what people think of her.
Okay, well, she needs to get over it. She clearly didn't care what people thought about her before.
Yeah. Mary and Virginia clearly had something against Caroline. They were doing so great, and then Caroline comes, and all hell breaks loose, and then Mary afterwards is like, Virginia did nothing wrong ever in her life.
Yeah, either something against, reminds me of, the sisters that, the twins that didn't speak, but then one of the twins died, and she was like, I'm finally free.
Yes.
It feels like that kind of, a vibe where, the other, where, Caroline comes in, and she, for some reason, has this, power and, hold over them, that, as soon as she shows up and is like, do this, they're like, okay.
Within,
less than a year. They had gotten that first one, was,
It's just crazy that, she's gone, and then she comes, and then, within a span of, 5 or 6 years, she destroys everyone's life.
Everyone's.
Kind of like
Where was she before that?
I don't know. But it makes me feel like she was, an omen or something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It gives me, omen vibes.
Yeah.
But there's still, unanswered questions.
Of course.
There are whispers of the sisters' involvement in black magic, questions of why there were bones and hair from a child in the furnace of the residence, Caroline shared with Mary. Bones and hair from a child.
So they killed...
I guess there was morphine in OC's system. Nobody knows why that is. Or why the suicide note was not in OC's handwriting.
Because it wasn't so...
There's a filmmaker in Virginia named Richard Maitrey, and he made a 20-minute short film about the events, and I guess he hoped to raise the money to make a full-length feature film, but that hasn't happened. But there is a 20-minute film that I didn't watch that is out there.
It is out there. It
People.
exists.
Yeah. So.
Interesting.
So, those are the Black Sisters.
Huh.
Super weird.
Psycho.
Literally psycho.
Fully psycho.
Fully psychotic, yes. What do you have?
I have... I'm still on the old one.
Oh.
I have...
Last episode you said something about, animal spirits or something.
That I talk about it, yes.
Yes.
So, I am talking about the Old House Woods in Virginia.
Old House Woods.
Yes.
Okay.
So, it's located in the town of Diggs, which is in Matthews County, Virginia. I have a couple pictures of just, generally the forest area.
It's pretty.
It is pretty.
No, it's look kind of creepy, but...
So, it's a forest, duh. But it's also, marshland. as well. So it's like a whole bunch, yeah. And it's across 50 acres. Like it's like a big, it's a lot. So it's also like the forest itself is really, really, really dense. So much so that like when colonists first like came to America, it was the perfect hiding place for like criminals and pirates and stuff because it was so dense that they could like hide from the law in there. But then you also couldn't even see, like you couldn't see the sky because the trees were so close together. So like no one, you wouldn't be found in there basically. Yeah. So then that also
nobody wants to go in there to try and search for people.
Exactly. And then no people wanted to go in there anyway because they're like, there could be a pirate hiding around the corner. Yeah. So like no one goes in there anyway. And then, wow, this is the shortest thing I've ever done, but it's fine.
That's fine.
It always happens with the ghost stuff because there's just...
Yes.
It's interesting, but there's just not a lot.
Virginia didn't have a lot to offer.
No. So it also, like, I don't know if the land backs up to it or if it's technically like included, but it backs up to Chesapeake Bay. So it has access to water. So during both like Revolutionary and Civil Wars, sailors would use the woods as a secret port to get stuff in and out without other people around them knowing, and then would be able to like keep secret like spots in there. Oh, yeah. So the reason why it has the name Old House Woods is because in the 1700s there was an old colonial building that was like built in there, and it was already avoided by people because they believed it to be full of angry spirits from somewhere on like the woods that all just like went there. Basically,
like, a house.
Wow,
nice digs.
And the creepy thing about this house is that one time it just like spontaneously caught fire. Like they don't know what happened.
What? And
then put itself back out without any human intervention. What like no, like it just lit up.
It's marshy.
And then. And that was it. Fire? I don't know. But then years later, it caught fire again.
What? Oh my god!
And then that time let itself burn to absolutely nothing.
That is weird.
It is weird. And now since then, the forest has like overtaken the foundation and stuff, so you can't even really see like where it was because it had burned that much to it was like dust essentially at the end. Yeah.
That's crazy.
So here are some of the things that happen if you would choose to go into this forest, which why would you do that? There will be ghostly ships that will just glide off of the Chesapeake Bay and go upwards.
Chesapeake Bay! Sorry.
Upwards.
What?
Above the trees.
This reminds me of the other thing that you talked about.
Yeah.
But that was like a much more funny story.
Yeah.
Because we pictured like the people on it being. Yeah, that was a good episode.
That was that was a good episode.
This is not that funny.
No, although this part's funny.
Oh, okay.
It goes above the so it'll come off of the Chesapeake Bay and go up and like over the woods. And some people say that as it floats over them, sometimes ladders will just drop from the side and men on the ship will just start climbing down towards the ground.
That is so funny.
But they don't see them like get all the way down. They're just there.
That is hilarious.
Others have seen pirates burying treasure.
Ooh.
And so so a lot of people would try and go in there to like look for this treasure, and that's why like things would don't do that, British redcoats are seen quote or quotations hiding colonial loot.
Ooh,
which also was something people would try and go and look for.
Of course.
There would be men fiercely digging in the ground, which could be other people looking for the treasure that have died in there because of whatever. This one is my favorite spirit. A spirit called the Storm Woman.
Ooh, she sounds hot.
Yeah.
And also powerful.
Very, yes. So she has light colored hair. She's wearing a nightgown. She will appear above the treetops.
What is with people appearing above the treetops, you guys?
When a gale, which is a strong wind from the ocean, I didn't know what that meant. When a gale comes off the bay, and then she'll shriek a storm warning to everyone, so everyone around the area can like hear that. Ooh. Yeah.
Oh, I
know, right? She's just nice.
Purpose.
Yeah. They've seen skeletons in armor that have swords and will just like ask you for directions.
Oh my god! Stop. That is the best. Oh my god, that is.
Hey, can you point me the direction to Chesapeake Bay?
Hey, do you know where
that pirate loot is?
I was gonna say, do you know where this treasure is? Could you point it to me on this map?
Could you maybe here?
X marks the spot.
Got it. There's a headless man searching for his lost love, which just made me sad.
Oh.
And then there are ghost horses and cows that appear in front of you and then disappear in an instant.
Oh my god, that
You're
is
just like
so...
walking and all of a sudden it's a horse and then it's gone.
That's like meme. That's like a meme where they just like moo. It disappears mid moo. Moo. Literally, just like cow gone, horse gone. I picture it staring like straight at you, not just like from the side.
Gone.
I love that. I want like multiple. Like I'm picturing like
a whole herd
of just cows just like looking at like in your direction.
Yes.
Meh.
And they all disappear at the same time. It's like a deafening moo and then it's just nothing.
Deafening moo. So loud. Oh my god, that's hilarious.
So yeah, there's that. And then there's an article from a newspaper in 1926 that said the following, quote, "Old House Woods is haunted. My advice to you is keep away from there. You can't defy the guardian spirits that watch over the place and get away with it." End quote.
Oh.
I like that.
I do like that.
And then the guy that wrote that article said that one time it was like late one night and he was riding his horse and buggy because that's what they had then, to go get like a doctor for his neighbor or something. And as he was like passing the woods area, his horse, which was never scared of like anything, all of a sudden started like cowering and like wanting to get away from that general area.
You don't like that.
Yeah,
I don't like that. That
and he
is
started
a
like
sign.
trembling, like
Oh my God.
violently, because he was so scared. So he was like, "I'm staying the fuck away from there."
I thought you were gonna say like the horse was like drawn to the forest, so all of a sudden it's just like the horse is just like gotta fucking go.
Oh my
and
god,
then
that
just
would be
goes
terrifying
into the
too.
forest. He sees his little horsey ghost friend.
And then it disappears and he's like, "Oh," and then turns back around. He's like, "Oh, it's my people." Oh, never mind.
Nope. Okay, got it.
And then here is the ghost dog stuff.
Oh.
There are 2 black ghost dogs that will like chase people out of the forest, which to me doesn't immediately strike me as bad spirits. If anything, I feel like, yeah, and they're like making sure that, first of all, don't go in my forest, but second of all, if you do, you could die.
Yes.
So,
Beware.
and then lastly, this is my favorite one. There are phantom headless crows that will shriek at you even though they don't have heads.
Oh, I love that so much.
Right? You just see a headless and you hear, "Ah, ah," and you're like, where is that coming?
There's like so many like in this tree, and it's just like so many caws, but not a single head. I love that so much.
Oh, this was a short episode. I'm sorry, y'all.
I'm not.
That's all I had. Here we go.
Here we go.
Okay, I think I go first.
Yes, you go first.
So, if you haven't watched the TikTok, which you should, I did the Woodland Wardens and I pulled the wolf and rose hip, and I pulled that in the upright position. So the meaning of this, the number, by the way, is 25, if that, which is 25 or 7 in numerology. Okay, so the meaning is guardianship. The wolf travels in a pack, protecting its family and community. Like the hound, the wolf signifies loyalty and commitment. Relatedly, the rose hip is a source of food, but also a symbol of love, as it is the berry produced by the rose plant. Its combined associations with nourishment and affection make it an emblem of familial love and care. Upright, you are called to be a mentor. Who among your pack might need your counsel? Taking a leadership role in community activism is another way to lead like the wolf. And then here are the questions. Whom can I mentor? How can I be a leader in my community? And whom do I turn to for help?
That's so cute.
It is cute.
Who
Reach out to your friends, everyone. See if they need help.
When your pack needs your help. Oh, that's adorable. Okay, so I pulled a card from the Moonology Oracle deck, and I think I'm going to read all of it.
Do it.
Because I want to.
Do it.
I pulled New Moon in Taurus.
Okay.
And like the little spiel on the card says, prosperity lies ahead. The book reads, this card will often come up when you're inquiring about a financial matter or when you're doubting your self-worth. It's interesting because it's like when you hear prosperity lies ahead, you immediately think like money or whatever. But it also, like, this card says something about, like, self-worth.
That
like,
is really
the
cute.
worth of, like, yourself instead of the worth of money.
Other things, yeah.
The card suggests you have what you want, including material things, but you must believe in yourself. This comes down to the laws of attraction. Oh, we talked about this in one of the episodes. I don't know if it was the last one or the one before it. It says, value yourself and others will value you too. You can create abundance. Taurus is associated with luxurious Venus, and this card holds the new moon energy, so now is a good time to make a 12-month financial plan. This card can also signal the start of a new relationship or of sexier times. If you've been wrestling with something for a long time, the new moon in sturdy Taurus is a sign not to give up just yet. The Attune to the Moon message says, get or give a massage. Healthy body, healthy mind.
Oh.
Additional meanings for this card are, you will soon be able to afford the thing you're dreaming of. Getting clear of on what you value most will help you find peace. Take some time to pamper yourself. Start a standing order to a savings account, no matter how small. And the teaching reads, we often feel that it's somehow wrong to focus on our finances, but the truth is that money can make life far more comfortable from a physical point of view.
Well done.
Taurus knows this, and the new moon in Taurus is the time to work on your magic to create the money you want so you can have the creature comforts you want. Remember, though, that someone else is still wishing for what you already have. Oh, I love that last sentence.
That is really cute. That's crazy, too, because I just got my tax return back today, and I was just telling Hunter that I just got my tax return today, and that Kyle and I, my fiance, if you're new here, decided that our tax return we're going to put immediately to our honeymoon fund so that we can, like, have that ready. So that's cool. It says to, like, put it towards something, and that is ours. So that's really cool. I really like these.
That's really cool.
Check in on your friends. And notice your self-worth today, friends. You are our friends.
Yes.
Do you need help?
And also recognize that you have more than others sometimes, and to, like, acknowledge it.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it. I'm
Episode
sorry, friends.
22. Episode 22, this is the shortest one. And then, like, a couple weeks ago was the absolute longest one that we've ever done.
Yeah.
They range. It's okay. It's nice to have range, because sometimes if you're not... I only listen to podcasts if I drive. So sometimes if the drive isn't as long, it's nice to have a short one.
It is nice.
Or a long one if you're driving for a long time. So range.
Well, thank you for joining us.
You can find us on
Reddit,
Facebook,
Twitter,
TikTok,
Instagram,
YouTube.
That's it. We don't really post much, except for TikTok.
And then YouTube. But still.
But, like, you could follow us if you want.
You could follow us or message us or whatever.
Please message us. Please leave us comments on YouTube, guys. We love reading them. Even though there's not a lot ever, but when they are there, it makes me very happy.
Yes.
So.
And connected.
Yes. All right, everyone. Have a good week.
Bye.
Bye.